the Brazos Valley. My name is Reverend Kaya, and my pronouns are she, they. Anyway, happy Sunday. Welcome here, and I am your worship associate today, and we're going to start out singing a song that I will teach you, and some of you already know it. It's called Keep Your Heart Wide Open. It goes like this. Gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves gonna push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. How's that? Everybody good? We'll try it one more time all together. Gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves gonna push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Now, if you can't remember all those words, I have another part for you. And your part goes like this. Keep your heart open, keep your heart open, keep your heart open, keep your heart. Better keep your heart wide open, though the waves gonna push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. One more time. Want to try it? Now you can switch parts if you would like. Just, be daring, be brave, try new things. It's good for your neural pathways. You ready? Better keep your heart wide open, though your waves gonna push you around. You better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground, till your faith brings you back to solid ground. That was righteously good, y'all. Good job. So it's water communion, and there's lots of new people here. And I'll talk about water communion a bit later, but this is an unusual service, but it's kind of like bring everybody back to the fall. And today we started our first ever breakfast potluck. But it will happen every fourth Sunday from now till eternity. So, can look forward to it. And we got breakfast tacos this morning, and we'll do that a few times. But bring stuff to eat and share it with everybody. It's a great way to get to know everyone. It's really a nice thing for people who live by themselves or have a lot of kids, and you don't want to have to cook them breakfast before you come to church. And this is your opportunity to not worry about it. Okay. So, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, UUCBV, or Brazos UU for short. My name is Reverend Kaya, and I am serving as your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities, and just however you come, we're happy to see you. Okay, we also strive to welcome people across diversities of race, age, ability, immigration status, and belief. We are also a congregation working for reproductive justice. So whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Our call to worship this morning comes from the great Benjamin Franklin, who said, "When the well is dry, we know the worth of water." And now we're going to have Rory Chatwin come up and light the chalice. Please say the chalice lighting words with me. Rory, are you okay? I got it. Okay, thank you. We light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as a beacon of hope for all who seek justice, dignity, and compassion, and in celebration of the life of truth and meaning we share together. And then we say our affirmation statement, which is also on the slides. Now, all please join me. Okay. Love is the spirit of the church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe there's a spark of the divine in every living thing, every living being, especially people. And this is your opportunity to say hi to the divine sparks in the room, especially the ones that you haven't met yet, you don't know their names. Talk to the people that are older than you and talk to the people that are younger than you. Let's make everybody feel like they belong here. Okay, I'll let you know when it's over. Go for it. One time for the beauty of it. Just enjoy the sound. We're going to have a little moment of joys and concerns. We eventually will, we have a secret surprise coming, and pretty soon we'll have it in the service where you can light a candle during the service for your joys and concerns. But right now, we're just doing it when we have special occasions. And we have kind of a special occasion today because Brian Lockridge, our board president, lost his mother, and they just had the funeral yesterday. So we want to send our condolences out to Brian and Darby and their family. It's Meg's birthday on Friday. And I'd like for us to have a moment of silence for the Middle East. There's a lot going on over there. There has been for quite a while, whether you're Palestinian, Israeli, Lebanese, doesn't matter. There's so much going on. Let's just hold them in our hearts and try to send some peace that way. If you get out your gray hymnal to 131, we're going to sing Sally Rogers' song called Love Will Guide Us. Love will guide us, open side us, will lead the way on the road from eternity. Love will guide us through the night. We cannot sing like angels if you cannot weep before thousands. You can get from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Open side us, lead the way on the road from grace to purity. Love will guide us through the night. So, on the cusp of fall, many Unitarian Universalist congregations plan water celebrations and or in-gathering services as a way of reconstituting community life after the more relaxed pace of summer. In fact, in the Northeast, a lot of people just took the summers off. And so this was traditionally when people all came back together and talked about where they went and what they did and how to bring community back together. But in 1975, during the feminist movement inside the Unitarian Universalism, when people were arguing about whether God was always called he and things like that, a lot of feminists were getting together and they're saying, wow, the worship service doesn't really speak to me and my spirituality as much as I would like it to. And so they basically invented this service in the 80s. And the first one that ever happened was done by Lucille Longview and Carolyn McDade. Y'all know Carolyn McDade if you like singing Spirit of Life. That's her song. And so she was also really involved in the 80s with creating worship services. And they said about the very first one, which was held, was called Coming Home Like Rivers to the Sea. And it was designed at a convocation for Unitarian women in East Lansing, Michigan in 1980. And it was constructed by them, and they said about it, they said this: making our ways like rivers from places distant and near, we come together to give shape to a new spirituality. For there is no theology that calls women to strength rather than to support the strength of others, that calls women to action rather than passivity, that calls women to full expression rather than to meek acceptance. Recognizing that, we see we must question every box, every definition, every assignment from an authority outside our own beings, so that we can create and recreate for ourselves rituals and symbols that give meaning to us. That's cool. And what I love about this is that most Unitarian Universalist churches do a water communion, even though that nobody remembers that it came out of the feminist movement. But I think it's kind of cool to know that we're coming in, we're bringing what we bring, and we're joining all together and making a very good community of diversity. So what happens at the water communion is that if you brought water, you can come up and bring it to the front, and I will hand you the mic, and you can tell people, you know, where it comes from, or if it symbolizes water that meant something special to you, or a place that really gives your heart strength. And we have extra water because I know a lot of people might have forgotten their water. So that's what's going to happen, and then we're going to have a special guest. So it's going to be a great morning. Here we go. Present their water.
We're not adding water this morning, we're adding empty cups because there is no water for Palestinians in Gaza.
This is not the actual water. It's water that's representative of all the water I could have squeezed out of my shirts at the end of the day all this summer.
This is water from my rain barrel, which we've had precious little of lately, but I use it to water my plants before they die. I'm not very good at raising plants.
This represents water from Lake Michigan. Although I'm from Wisconsin, I had never been in Door County. If you know Wisconsin, that's that little thumb on the side. And so this represents the water from Lake Michigan.
Welcome.
This is water, so we also do our own waters of the world at home. And so this is a collection of lots of different waters that we've collected over years. And even some waters, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Starhawk, but I did an event with her, and so even Starhawk's Waters of the Waters are in here. So it's pretty cool. These are flower essences that are specifically used to help balance waters wherever you go. So if you go to a lake or to a pond, and it seems to help bring balance to all the waters. So.
This is water that I keep with me and replenish periodically from natural sources, and it reminds me of the flow of one life that goes through all beings, and helps me to stay within that flow, to let things go appropriately and to take things in when I need them. And it's just the way that I represent the blessing of that flow of one life in the world.
Elliot, those y'all don't know.
Well, I forgot to bring water. But this sort of symbolizes, when I moved to Texas more than 30 years ago, I'm a Yankee, I had to become aware of the need for water for me to live here, as well as for anything I would put in the ground. And I think of it now for those experiencing war and their need for the replenishment and the renewal, the life that water symbolizes.
This is water from my home. However, I'm going to represent one of my favorite places in the whole world, and it's in Sebago, Maine, Sebago Lake. And my mom used to drive us all the way from Dallas to Portland, Maine in the summers in August. And we would go to my cousin's farm and go swim in Sebago Lake, and those were some of the best times of my childhood.
This water represents the tears of joy I cried on Friday at my daughter's wedding and finding her perfect heart boyfriend. That's the right word. We got plenty.
The water that I'll pour here will represent the water from Spring Creek and Dove Creek near San Angelo, Texas. And they flow forever and nourish all by their sides. Peace.
This water represents the water of the Colorado River in Utah, where I grew up. I recently got to go visit family, and my 3 little brothers are grown up now, and they were guides on a whitewater rafting trip down Cataract Canyon. And I got to join along and ride on each of their different boats and talk to them now that we're adults and we actually get along. And it was just an awesome trip. It was not just a regular whitewater rafting trip, but it was a return to realness wilderness therapy retreat. So everyone was there to connect and heal and talk to other people and feel the ground, feel the water, let the river move through them. And it was just such a great experience. And so this water represents connection flowing through us all.
I have water from Jimmy's water bottle. So this represents, he takes it to preschool every day, and it represents all the love we're sending him out to the world with when we can't be with him.
This water has actually been around for several billion years, but it came out of my tap this morning.
This water represents the sweat and tears, and maybe a little blood, but there's none in here, don't worry, that it takes to get all of this up and running. And we are actually doing our first ever live stream right now. So hello world. And cheers.
Anybody else want to participate? Reverend Meg. And awesome.
My life is a lot smaller now that I'm retired, and I don't go very many places. So the water in my water bottle that keeps me hydrated and alive is my favorite water right now. And thank you to Kaya for keeping the water bottle full.
I'm not going to use my dirty water bottle to put in there, but this is all the water that I'm drinking outside because it's
Anybody else? So our water is mixed together, looks like our community is mixed together, and we're getting stronger with the diversity of it, and stronger. And all you people who are new, thank you for coming. We are glad to see you. And I have a special guest for you today. So I'm going to go up here to the podium. Would you rather talk on this one or on the podium? Okay, great. Our friend Dan, you know that we vote in May for 4 organizations that we support. And one of the ones we voted for this year is called Tiny Hope Village. And today I'm so excited to introduce you to Dan, who is the founder of Tiny Hope Village, and he's going to tell you more about it.
Hi, I'm Dan Kiniry. I'm the executive director of Tiny Hope Village, and I want to thank y'all so much for having me and for voting on us as one of your beneficiaries. If that's the right word, I don't know what beneficiaries means. I want to start out by saying, if you have any questions while I'm talking, feel free to chime in. This doesn't have to be just me talking up here. But 17 years ago, we decided to start a potluck meal, and we chose Neal Park as the place to do it. We chose Neal Park because we learned that homeless people hung out there a lot, and we wanted to do a meal where anybody could come and eat. Anybody could bring food. Nobody had to bring food, but we could all eat together. At first, we considered just bringing food and giving it away, but it didn't feel quite right, and the idea of eating together in solidarity just felt right. So those meals are still ongoing. We're having one today at 1:30. They're every Sunday at 1:30, rain or shine, and we'd love for y'all to come out anytime. We never skip a Sunday. And by some miracle, we've always had food at the meals. We get to observe the miracle of the loaves and fishes every week. And that's certainly built up my faith a lot. In these meals, we got to meet folks and become friends with folks who are living on the streets. And after a few months, I met a guy named Cowboy. His real name was Ken, but he went by Cowboy. And he had been kicked out of Twin City Mission, and he was sleeping on the tennis courts at Neal Park. And me and my roommates decided to invite him to come stay with us for a while. So he moved in with us, and we ended up living together for more than a year. And he was a great roommate. He was 10 years older than me, but a lot of times it felt like I was his dad. I was having to help him manage his money. He had a disability where he was unable to manage his money, his really small income that he got from disability. And we lived together for more than a year, and we got him on the HUD wait list. The HUD wait list was a very long list, but if you're homeless, you got moved up a little bit in it. And we finally got him into his own apartment where he could pay a small amount and the government would pay for the rest. His problem was that he was so generous, he would let other people come live with him who were homeless. And that's against the rules of HUD. So eventually they found out, and he lost his apartment. And he moved on. Last I heard from him, he was living in Las Vegas. And he had his own place. According to him, he was delusional, so it's hard to know what's true when coming out of his mouth. But he was a good friend, and he completely changed my life. He changed my expectations of people. He changed my idea of what success is. And after he lost his place, I started to think about what kind of living situation would be good for Cowboy, a place he could afford, a place where he could practice hospitality, a place where he could put his passion for ending homelessness to work. And we heard about this project in Austin called Community First Village, where they were building homes and building a community for folks who are homeless, for folks who are not just homeless, but chronically homeless. They've been homeless for years. And Aggies were building homes and sending them there. So we thought, well, why not do one here? The Aggies would probably be even more interested in helping out here. So we had this dream of building a tiny house community. And we formed a nonprofit called Tiny Hope Village. And we started fundraising just on that dream. We put together the board of directors. We did all the little paperwork you have to do. And we'd raised about $25,000 when we found 7 acres of land in Hearn, on the edge of Hearn. And we couldn't afford any land in Bryan College Station because of the price. The cost is so high. So we figured we'd go within 25 minutes of downtown Bryan and we could provide the transportation that people needed. So we found 7 acres of land. We did a big fundraising push and we purchased 7 undeveloped acres of land. And started clearing it out. Y'all's previous pastor was a big help with that. I have photos of her clearing out land next to an old trailer that was there. And a year ago, after a whole lot of work, after installing septic tanks, after installing driveways, after building a pavilion, after building 2 homes, we were able to welcome the first 2 residents, and they've been there a year this month. And, thank you. One of them was a lady who'd been living in her car for a while, and she went through the mission and got into an apartment. They have a great program called Rapid Rehousing, where they pay for an apartment for 6 months. But she was unable to keep it going. So after 6 months, she was staying on a friend's couch, and she was on her way back to the streets. But then COVID hit, and we decided to use that crisis to mobilize people who would be able to give money, and we put up 9 people into a motel. And we were able to fundraise to pay for their stays there. So 9 people who were chronically homeless lived in a motel for over a year. And we got to see that it could be a beautiful thing for folks who are homeless to live together in the same place. I'd show up and they'd all be sitting under a tree together visiting. They cared about each other. They looked out for each other. And that gave us a vision of what Tiny Hope Village could be. So we moved one lady out into Tiny Hope Village. Unfortunately, we were unable to keep up with the cost of the motel, so everyone had to leave except for 2 people who could pay a portion. We still fundraise for one of them, because Susie moved out of the motel and into Tiny Hope Village. And our other friend, Lee, is probably about to move out and move into Tiny Hope Village. Sorry, I kind of switched around there. I went forward and then back. But right now we have 2 residents. One of them has really intense health needs. We're lining up appointments, making sure he has his medication, making sure he gets to appointments and whatnot. We're paying for his medication and the co-pays on his appointments because he doesn't have any income. One thing we're able to do is welcome people who have no income. And people who have income, they can pay a portion so that it's not so high that they can't afford it. If you get a disability check, there's not a single apartment you can afford on that without HUD assistance in this community. So we're a place where you can afford to live, even if you have very small income or no income. We're doing permanent housing. We're not transitional. We're not trying to get you on to the next place. We're not putting a time limit on how long you can be there. You can live there your whole life if you want. Because we're serving folks who are chronically homeless. If you're chronically homeless, you're probably not able to take advantage of the services that are out there to get back on your feet. Usually the challenges are too high, the challenges of too low income, the challenges of mental health sometimes. Could be the challenges of addiction sometimes, the challenges of perhaps a criminal record, all these barriers that can be too much to overcome for some people to get into this housing system that's available. So we're really trying to build something new. I like to think we're participating with the divine in creation. We're creating something that was not there. And what it is the idea that housing is a human right that people should just have because they're human beings. That people should just have, even if they don't have a lot of income, even if they've been cast aside by society. We've been really blessed, just the same as with the potlucks, where we have food show up. We've had people show up. We've had people show up with their wallets. We've had people show up with their skills. Just last week, we had a company called Buck the Builder. They installed our cabinets for us. They built them and installed them for free. We have volunteers who come out and help with the framing. We do a combination of volunteer labor and paid contractors. That's been working for us. We're almost done with homes 3 and 4. We're looking forward to welcoming 2 new residents. And we're about to do a fundraising push for home number 5, which is going to be a little bit larger because we want to welcome a couple next. Does anybody have any questions or ideas they'd like to share? There's some frequently asked questions is, what do we do about transportation? They're living out on the edge of Hearn. How do we make sure they get where they need to go? Well, right now I'm providing transportation. I'm the driver. We have one of our next residents we're planning on has her own vehicle, so she'll be able to provide a lot of transportation as part of her commitment of living there. Everybody who lives there has a commitment to help out and to give in as they're able. They might not have income to pay in, but they have their abilities and their special gifts. And we found that folks experiencing homeless are the most knowledgeable about homelessness. They're the best partners in ending homelessness. They have the greatest passion a lot of times because they've experienced it. They have the most solidarity with other folks who are homeless. So it's really exciting to be building a community where folks who've been on the streets and on the margins can get out of survival mode and get into thriving mode, where we're able to really serve one another. Folks on the streets are serving each other in lots of different ways, but they don't have many resources. So having the resource of a permanent home, of enough food to eat, of access to health care, they're able to do a whole lot. And let's see. Allison helped me pass out cards that have a little QR code on them. We'd love it if you would scan the QR code with your phone and set up monthly giving of $5, $10, $20. Right now, there's a lot of monthly needs because we're meeting the medical needs of one of our residents. Yes, ma'am. Well, the guy who we're currently helping out a lot, we're kind of navigating the Medicare, Medicaid situation. He had a Medicare insurance that he got when he was in Cameron that will not cover him if they find out he lives in Hearn. So we're keeping that under the radar. That means a lot of his providers are in Cameron or Waco or Temple. So just this last week, we went up to see a gastroenterologist in Waco, for instance. The other lady, her doctors are in Bryan. So it involves some driving, for sure. Yes? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, we need to exchange numbers. So the best ways you can partner with us are, 1, to set up monthly giving, 2, on our table we have in the back room where we're eating breakfast, we have a list where you can put in your name and your mailing address, because we have a newsletter we send out that has updates, and it shows you what we need, where we're at with the progress on the work. A third thing you can do is like us on Facebook and follow us, because that's where we put our volunteer work days. If you want to come out and help build or help clean up or help whatever. And if you have the time and passion to do this, we'd welcome you to go out and visit with the residents. You know, we don't want them to be isolated out there. We want them to be connected to the wider community, and they both love it when people come visit them. So I could get you the address as well. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for having me. Thanks for supporting us. We appreciate it.
So we're going to sing hymn number 207. If you know the song Blue Boat Home, it's exactly the same tune. Number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden.
Was given as a garden, cradle for humanity, tree of life and tree of knowledge, place for our discovery. Here was home to all your creatures, born of land and sky and sea. All creation in your hand, all to live in part of me. Show to us again the garden where life was fresh and free. Gently guide your sons and daughters into full maturity. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power, how to touch the earth with reverence, with morally bless the earth and all your children, all creation made us whole. Dare to open all connected, planted by an angel's soul. Holy Mother, life restoring, bid our waste and warfare cease. Fill us all with grace overflowing. Teach us how to live in peace.
And now let an offering be taken to sustain and strengthen this place which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. So this church shares the proceeds of the offering plate donation every week to help support important nonprofit organizations with which we work. We voted to support with this year's donations are Brazos Valley Blessings, Brazos Interfaith Immigration Network, the Trans Joy Project, and Tiny Hope Village. We vote for this every May at our congregational meeting. Please be as generous as you can. And the song that we're going to sing, I'm going to sing you this morning, is a Patti Smith and Fred Sonic Smith song. And the chorus is just, people have the power. So I need all the help from all the people who have the power.
awaken to the cry that the people have the power to redeem the work of fools upon the meek. The gracious shower is decreed. The people rule your part. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Believe it. This is your part. There you go. Visual aspects become suspects, bending low as if to hear. And the armies cease advancing because the people had their ear. And the shepherds and the soldiers lay beneath among the stars, changing visions and laying arms to waste in the dust, in the form of shining valley, where the pure recognize, and my senses newly open, I awaken to the cry. Y'all got it? People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power to dream, to rule, to wrestle the earth from fools. It's the creed. People rule. It's the creed. People rule. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. I believe everything we do can come to pass in our union. We can turn the world around. We can make a revolution. Last chance. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was fun. So, thank you for your gifts. The gifts you have given, for those we receive and for each other. May your generosity return to you tenfold. So we got a bunch of announcements because things are getting hot, are they not? So the Love and Joy Choir info session will be 5 p.m. on Saturday, September 7th. If you cannot come, send me an email that you would like to sing, and I will put you on the list, and then we will do doodle polls. So here's the deal about this choir. We're going to sing maybe once every 6 weeks. We're going to rehearse maybe 10 times. You just need to come to 2 of those 10 rehearsals because I record all your parts and you can practice on your own. So this is a choir that anybody can be in. You do not have to read music. Okay? So if you can come on the 7th, great. If you can't, you're going to send me an email to revkaya@brazosuu.org. And we will get the choir going, and we will figure out good times for everybody, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. Yoga and meditation will continue starting September 14th at 9 a.m. Bring your mat. Football parking is starting. We're signing up. You need to sign up. The first game is coming up the 31st of August. So I don't know how it's going, Bobby, but do we got enough people? It's coming along. Coming along. It's fun. Wear a hat. It's hot. Okay. So we're having a get out the vote voter registration rally here.
We have musicians coming from Friends. We have musicians playing from here of all ages and all abilities, and it's going to be a really fun event, and there is going to be karaoke and dancing, because I hear that Rory wants dancing, so we're going to have dancing. And so it should be really fun. It's going to be October 5th, because the deadline to vote is October 7th. If you have moved, you have to get re-registered. We can register you here at the church. I'm a voter registrar, Allison is a voter registrar, and I believe DiMattina is a voter registrar. So if you're not registered to vote, please come see me. I would love to help you out with that. Okay. And that concert will be 7 to 9 p.m. on October 5th. It's a Saturday night. We're going to rock the house and the lights, and I believe the smoke machine will be going. Okay. So the UU the Vote postcard campaign is, those of y'all who participated last week, thank you. Those of y'all who took postcards home, thank you. We have more packets if you want to take postcards home, but we are continuing that throughout until the October 1st date when we mail them out. So you don't have to have good handwriting. We have sticker jobs where you just have to stick stickers on. If you want to write, great. If you want to draw pictures on them, great. We're happy to have you, and we will help you do it, and there's a table right over there. So that's it. So now let's extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we gather together again. And please sing with me if you choose to. Remember the way of the wind and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire and sparkle and glitter and glow. Remember the way of the water and ebb and flow. Remember the way of the earth and grow. Go in peace. Please check out Tiny Hope Village's table, the vote, and come eat the rest of the food.